We talked about the political cost here for a second. In a morning meeting, I said, I'm going to bet you that Obama has got to look as presidential as possible, and he'll probably mention that he was in the Situation Room today. Well, he did one even better. He was briefed from the Situation Room today. It was pretty amazing. But the upside is, at least we know he knows where the Situation Room is, which takes me to Libya, where our sources over the weekend now confirm that he did watch our ambassador and the CIA safe house in Libya come under attack and Americans die. And while the media focus shifts to the storm, we will keep our heart and our prayers on the storm, but we cannot take our eyes off of what's happening with the Libya case. When the president called the Navy SEALs, they killed Osama bin Laden. But when the Navy SEALs called the president, he let them die. Let me recap what this program believes happened in Libya. 1. The administration is running guns and aid to our enemies, Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood and other Islamic groups, to foment revolutionary democracy. 2. Ambassador Stevens was the point man for that exchange. 3. The government, the administration, all had forewarning. It came under attack by terrorists. The administration watched it happen in real time, and they stopped the military from intervening. 4. They're covering up, and what they did was they covered up by validating the radical Islamic excuse of Islamophobia in an attempt for sympathy and leniency on their murderous attacks, and the Pentagon, the CIA, the administration is all involved. And 5, this continues today. That is what the truth is on Libya. And the facts in the Libya attack keep coming to light, and Obama's job approval rating dropped 7 points in 3 days. From October 23rd to the 26th, he went from 53% approval to 46%. And I believe that's directly due to the fact, not just Libya, but he is not behaving in a presidential manner. He's blaming YouTube videos and then shifting the blame to everyone else but him. The worst of all was his description of how coldly and callously he was when he was consoling the father of Tyrone Woods, one of the Navy SEALs that died in Benghazi. How he and Hillary and Biden treated the loved ones in this tragedy, it was deplorable. This president has gone from putting his feet up on the Oval Office desk to having 87 music concerts while people were losing their jobs, to inviting the Muslim Brotherhood into office and keeping the Prime Minister of Israel out. Obama has denigrated the office of the President of the United States, and people know it, and they're reacting, and they're not reacting kindly to it. The campaign knows it. And how do I know? Let's look at the New York Times last week. They wrote an op-ed piece about the aura of defeat surrounding Obama's campaign. Now, here's how they described the typical losing campaign. See if Obama fits any of the bill on any of these things. They say a losing campaign goes negative. They try new messaging very late in the game. Big Bird, bayonets, or amnesia. They hype issues that only their base is focused on. Abortion or birth control. They try to turn non-gaffes and minor slip-ups into massive scandals. Binders of women, sound familiar? The aura of defeat is the entire campaign for the Obama administration. And he has to do that because what is he going to do? Tout the economy? No. Tout foreign policy? No, he can't do that. Because as John McCain said just today, Libya is either a massive cover-up or the worst case of incompetence he's ever seen. And let me give you the latest now on Libya. Obama tried to say he called it a terrorist attack from day one, right? He said, I was there in the Rose Garden, and I said it was a terrorist attack. And just as I mentioned, it doesn't jive with what the father of one of the Navy SEALs who died in Benghazi said on our show just last week. Watch.
She made this statement to me that, first of all, she was sorry, but then she said, we will make sure that the person who made that film is arrested and prosecuted. And when she said that, you know, I could tell that she was not telling me the truth.
Okay. Hillary Clinton said to him that they were going to get the guy who they've been prosecuted and put in jail, the guy who made the film. Yet, the president said that he was in the Rose Garden that day saying it was a terrorist attack. Okay. Today we learn that the U.S. Embassy in Islamabad produced a TV ad that aired all across the Middle East. It cost you $70,000. Here's the ad that ran in the Middle East. Watch.
Since our founding, the United States has been a nation that respects all faiths. We reject all efforts to denigrate the religious beliefs of others.
Let me state very clearly, and I hope it is obvious, that the United States government had absolutely nothing to do with this video.
That first piece of video was from the Rose Garden, where he said it was clearly a terrorist attack. But if it were a terrorist attack and not a spontaneous protest, then why are they spending your tax dollars on an ad all over the Middle East blaming a YouTube video? Obama finally got his tough question from the media. Unfortunately, it was a tough question from a local anchor in Denver, but here's how he handled it. Watch.
Mr. President, let's begin with the news of the day. Were the Americans under attack at the consulate in Benghazi, Libya, denied requests for help during that attack? And is it fair to tell Americans that what happened is under investigation and we'll all find out after the election?
Well, the election has nothing to do with four brave Americans getting killed and us wanting to find out exactly what happened.
Were they denied requests for help during the attack?
Well, we are finding out exactly what happened.
Excuse me? Mr. President, were they denied help? See, a couple of problems arise from the answers given here by the President. He's the only one that can give directives. And if he says, I gave a clear directive to help them, as he says he did, then former Pentagon officials confirmed to the Blaze today that there would be a paper trail of those records. Mr. President, can we see the orders that you gave? Second, if you're the only one that can give the order, and you watched it happen, and it was being updated in real time, as we know it was, at least within the hour of the attack beginning, why do you need an investigation? You're the only one with the answer, Mr. President. Senators now are demanding declassification of the video of the attack. I believe if the American people saw the video of the attack and compared it to President Obama's story in the aftermath, he'd be finished. And this is exactly why they'll never release the videotape. The Senate intelligence hearing is now scheduled for after the election. Thank you, Harry Reid. But do you notice a pattern here? The Obama administration wants an investigation after the election, and it has nothing to do with it. We just have to take our time. He wants the jobs report after the storm, after the election. It has nothing to do with the storm. We just have to take our time. He wants to openly talk to Vladimir Putin after the election. America, you cannot afford what the president is planning after the election. You might want to call that one the November surprise. It's funny, when I talked originally 7 years ago on radio about the perfect storm, little did I know that it would include actual weather. But the perfect storm is happening. It is hitting Wall Street, inside the Beltway, and everything in between, with wind and rain as well.